Brad with just a little impromptu live. I just got out of the shower. The wife is out shopping. I got a few minutes to hang. We'll see who is out there tonight. Who is out there? Man, you know, it's a crazy world we live in. And I know, you know, just getting to go on here and talk about music is just kind of clear the air and get back to doing the things we love. So check it out. I got a little guitar here, and we could do a little playing. What's happening, Phoenix? Dr. Star, what's happening? How's everybody doing out there? Glad to have you guys here. We got 6 people in here. Let's get the thumbs up. Now, I don't know how long the wife is going to be out, but dude, David, John, what's happening? I don't know how long they're going to still be out, but I figured I'd come on here and just thank you, Anarchy. Thank you. What's up, backstage? How you doing? Just thought I'd come on here and have a little fun, talk about music for a little bit. Thank you. The wig is dialed and styled. The wig is freshly washed. Thank you. This is before. So in the morning, I'll probably shoot videos after having slept on it. And that's why my hair looks so screwed up. It actually looks pretty good now. Hola, Joel, what's happening, brother? Dude. Yes, indeed. So, man, I'm just having some fun here, hanging at the house. And I thought, man, I got a little bit of time here. Let's see who's out there, right? Let's see who is out and up tonight. Play a Colt Ford song. Woo! God, man. Chilling on a dirt road, right? That's about all I remember, man. Man, you know, the thing about what I played on a lot of that Colt Ford stuff is it wasn't a lot of like riffs. A lot of it was there was one song, I think it was called Crickets or something, and I did or something. You know, it was all very simple stuff. It wasn't very riff. It's not like I could go, oh, check out this amazing riff. But there is a song called The High Life that I did a you hear at the intro of that song, High Life. I play that little, you know, kind of AC/DC. I played that, you know, kind of thing in that. And they actually played it during the bridge. But then the producer, what's happening, Al? The producer said that's a cool part and ended up moving it over and using it for the intro as well. So that's just little tiny little things. It's not like it's, you know, it's not like any like amazing like parts or anything like that. But, you know, it was a fun gig. You know, it was a fun gig. So like somebody was saying, I don't think I could sing the whole chorus to Dirt Road Anthem. Choice of strings and how do you like your action? Yes, indeed. Surprise live stream, Leah. I like 10 gauge strings, 10 through 46, and I like my action, you know, reasonable. But I play this guitar, this Telly, this 52 American Vintage Telly, because it is the hardest guitar I have to play. So because I don't get a ton of time to practice, when I do pick up a guitar, I'll just do little finger and picking exercises just to keep my chops up. So that is why I play this guitar. So yeah, thank you. Sound hot and crunchy and good deal for that SG from Fesley, man, for $199, man. And I've got that guitar here. I've got that guitar here, and it is for 199, dude. You know, you can't beat this. If you're looking for something, you know, somebody in your family. Now I've got this down tuned. I've got this tuned down because I just thought it would be a cool thing. But this is a cool guitar for 199, man. You really can't beat it for the money. And I did a whole video on this guitar. It's the FSG 350. And there is a 5% discount code in the video for this guitar. So this is not a sponsored video for this, but you know, I'll give them one more plug. People really seem to like that demo, and the reality is I had in-laws here. The guitar came. I knew I needed to do a demo, and I just put up a crunch tone and kept this thing down tuned so it would sound kind of heavy. And how was that for a good plug? Yeah, thank you, Dr. Starr. Thank you for that. So yeah, that's that guitar. But man, I'm just glad that you guys are out. You know, I don't usually come on in the weekdays on the nights, but like I said, the wife and the child are out. You mentioned playing through that Friedman. How did you like it? Man, I had a Friedman Brown Eye on the road, and I love that amp. And I had a Friedman, what is it, the twin, not the twin sister, but the Betty. What is that Betty one? I had that as a combo amp. Man, those are both just killer amps, but just way more amp than I need in my current situation. I'm not playing live. I liked having that Friedman. I love the Friedman stuff. It's great. I would really like to have a Friedman Plex, a 50-watt Friedman Plex, but I don't need it. You know, I had all these heads. I had all these 412 cabs. And I just one day said, you know what? While I can still lift these, and while I can still, what's happening, Bayshore? While I can still lift these, I'm going to take them to Guitar Center and get rid of them. So yeah, I think if I ever did, you know, if this channel blows up and I want to, you know, get like a bitchin' rig, you know, for my channel, yeah, that Z Maz 38. Now I had a whole cavalcade of Z amps. Humbucker Music is a really good store for buying Z amps, and they used to have deals on those. So and a few wobbly pops after work. All right, Corey. All right, I hear you, brother. Yeah, it's just more than I need, man. If I was doing some heavy, you know, rock in some loud venues, you know, something like that would be perfect. That's why I wouldn't go and try. I used to try and buy vintage Marshalls, and I've had vintage Marshalls over the years, and Super Leads and all that stuff. But if I want that tone, man, and I want to play it live, I'm just get a Friedman Plex and I'll be done with it. Yeah, Friedman stuff is great, man. I love their stuff, and it was real reliable, and it sounded good, and you know, it's got had a good clean tone. But I think, man, Plexi amps are underrated as far as clean tone goes. And you can let me know what you think in the comments. But man, personally, I prefer a Marshall clean and a Marshall dirty. That would be my desert island amp. Is just a really killer sounding Marshall. All right, Al, it plays acoustic on the porch for the wildlife. The wildlife we have here is an 8-foot gator that's in the pond behind the house. That's our wildlife. I think I'm going to leave him alone. I'm afraid. Right on, Gib. You got the pink taco. Very cool. I think I'm going to leave the wildlife here. They might not like my song selection, so I'm gonna hold off on playing for the wildlife. We've got sandhill cranes and alligators, and I'm not sure if they're gonna like my selection in music. ZT Lunchbox and the Spark. I had a ZT Lunchbox. I tried that. I tried using one of those downtown for a gig. And, you know, it was just loud enough. It was just loud enough. So, yeah, man, I'm just glad you guys are here. Let's get the thumbs up. If you've got any other questions, you got the SV20. Yeah, those are cool sounding amps, man. Those are really cool sounding amps. I'm real shy of the Marshall stuff these days. Kung Fu failure. Yes, Phil. You know, you want to talk about, I was actually a karate guy when I was a kid, but that's a whole nother story. I don't even know if we'll get into that on this channel. Yeah, Brian, I'm glad to be live. Um, right on, Phoenix, right on. Yeah, man, I was always looking for a portable and light solution to play gigs with because, man, playing downtown, that's right, Al. Lucky Sevens, man, unless a really good situation pops up, I don't know if I'm going to play in Florida, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm almost just not even going to pursue it and see what pops up. But man, I don't want to go play for $100. I don't want to go play for $200. I was making $500 a gig in Nashville. And the thought of now going out and doing the same thing, working twice as hard, and it's 3 times as hot out. I just don't. I just don't think I want to go do that for $100. Phoenix, you haven't played in Florida in 25 years. Benjamin, you're in Shelbyville, Tennessee, I imagine. Yeah, I am not in Tennessee anymore. So yeah, that's not going to work. I don't do a lot of, I didn't do a lot of jamming. 100, hell, that's big bucks. Yeah. I just, now the Dallas Bull, that is down the road. And I used to play played the Dallas Bull with Colt Ford. And I played the Dallas Bull with Trick Pony and had a great time. Love playing that place. And I tell you, the best thing about playing the Dallas Bull is they have a great green room. And in that green room, they have a shower. So for a sideman who usually gets last access to the hotel room to take a shower, having a green room with a nice shower in it and towels and soap, that, my friends, is why I love that venue. I absolutely love the Dallas Bull, but I don't think I'm going to play the Dallas Bull now that I'm not with a big name artist. That's just not going to happen. Leah Sweet Cheeks, my last. Okay. Come on, guys. 2 teams. Okay. I don't want any politics talk in here, man. We come in here to escape all that. And I know some people are happy and some people are sad. Man, I just want to talk music. This is a music channel. So if you would, please, everybody, just, refrain from that. It's just not what I want to do. If I was to go into that arena, it'd be a whole different channel. And I don't want to be a different channel. Safety in music. Yes. Safety in music. It's all about these things. Is that a picture of Neil Young? What, that right there? That's Edward Van Halen, man. Yeah, we're here to make music and money. Yes. Hey, Mud Shark, that's not necessary, bro. It's not necessary. And if that continues, I'm just going to have to remove you from the chat. And I don't want to do that. Mud Shark, come on now. You don't know who Edward Van Halen is? Boom. That's, bye. I'm sorry, bro, but I can't. If you don't know who Edward Van Halen is, man, you gots to go, bro. So I'm going to take you guys with me. I'm thirsty, man. You can hear my voices. It's the end of the day. So I'm going to take you on a little run to get me a beverage. How about that, guys? If you come on my channel and you ask if the picture of Edward Van Halen on my wall is Neil Young, And then when I tell you it's Edward Van Halen, and thanks, miserable. Then when I tell you it's Edward Van Halen and you say, who is that? I'm sorry, bro, but you got to go. So yeah, I don't, it's probably the first time you've ever seen me kick somebody from my channel. And I hope this guy doesn't try to lash out and, get all ticked off about it. But bro, I can't. I just can't. If you don't know who Edward Van Halen is, then you just don't have a place. You don't need to watch this channel. There's plenty of other channels, bro. Ah, yes, indeed. Now, I'm on low test right now because the wife will come home and I'll have to get off of this and at some point go to sleep. But yeah, man, you're waiting on to play Paradise by David Lee Roth at Walmart. I have heard that in Walmarts. Yeah, Eddie, yay, Leslie, how you doing? Right on. I'm so glad we got so, man, I tell you what, maybe I need to come on more often during the weekdays. It seems like, man, we got a lot of people in here. Let's get those thumbs up. If you haven't, yeah, these are delicious, man. I'm not sponsored by any drinks. Yeah, I did see that about Taylor Swift paying out bonuses. That's awesome, man. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, obviously. I like rock and roll. I like jazz. I like blues. But man, anybody that takes care of their crew, I do have to salute you there. You don't have to like somebody's music to appreciate if they take care of their crew. So, yeah, evening lives is great for us West Coast guys. Well, I'm glad, man. I'm glad to be here because, in my heart, I'm still a West Coast guy. Even though I grew up on the East Coast and I lived in the South for all those years in Tennessee. And yeah, you got to pay your peoples, Phil. Absolutely, man. You look, man, I have heard stories of, certain country artists, big, super name ones that play arenas, kind of like Taylor Swift. And I've heard of them having like killer bonuses and then having like a hey, CC, how you doing? And then having like these awards or like rewards that if somebody did something or they'd have a draw and one guy in the crew would get some huge bonus, like a $50,000 bonus or something like that. So, that is, I just think it's great when you take care of the crew. I have heard of Tim McGraw back in the day for Christmas buying each guy in his band a whatever car they wanted or motorcycle and just handing them the keys. So, man, I salute that dude because it's sideman, and I've been a sideman, and usually, dude, there's a lot of times there's no Christmas bonus, there's nothing. You make your show pay by doing those shows, and, that's it. So, man, I salute anybody that takes care of their crew. Yeah, Maxwell, new rule on the Bad Brad channel. If you don't know who Edward Van Halen is, and you say, is that Neil Young? and then I say, no, it's Edward Van Halen, and you go, who's that? You gotta go, bro. He was interjecting all this political nonsense that nobody needs to hear now. It's New Year's Eve gig. Now that's why one thing I will say, my wife understood is that I would tell her, look, New Year's Eve is the big payday for musicians. So I would generally, and this is before I started making the $500 gigs towards the end of my time in Nashville, last couple of years. New Year's Eve gigs would pay $600. And so, I would just tell the wife, look, man, January and February generally suck. So I got a chance to make $600 in one night. We can celebrate New Year's Eve the next day. And actually, like New Year's Day was kind of like it was almost like our anniversary for a long time because she went out with some friends. This is when I convinced her. I met her out on the road. And then I was off the road for a couple years. And then we just started talking, right? And I convinced her, I said, look, I got to play tonight. It's New Year's Eve. But why don't you fly to Nashville tomorrow? I'll pay for your ticket. I'll give you the cash when you get here. Just fly up and we'll party. I can't party because I gotta drive and I gotta play a gig, but we'll party the next day. So come to Nashville. And that was sort of our first, and she flew up from Florida and she had no coat and she didn't have tennis shoes, like she had like sandals or something. And he came up here and it was freezing. So I had to take her and get her a coat, and I had to take her and get her some shoes, and all that. But yeah, so New Year's, she understands that. Look, New Year's is my big night of the year, and January and February usually suck. So let me make my good pay on New Year's. And man, there was one year where I did like a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. I did three, or it was one or two. It was maybe just two back to back. But it was like 500 one night and 600 the next night. Just a Friday and a Saturday on a New Year's Eve weekend. And so that's $1,100, dude. And it was not like a raging like party. It was like a chill, like smooth jazz dinner club type gig. So man, that's good money for that, man. Al, going out and partying on New Year's Eve, that is amateur hour. And even when I used to party and rage, smash the likes. That's right. Thanks, Beyond. I don't need to go out on amateur night. I didn't go out on what's the St. Patty's Day. I don't go out New Year's Eve when I was partying. I go out on Mondays. I go out on Tuesdays. I go out when the professionals would go out. And then I play my gigs, on the weekends, but I don't party anymore. So it really doesn't matter. But man, drinking this right now, like, dude, when I was a drinking man in the bars, dude, I could knock back cans of beer like nobody's business. Like, dude, I could drink this in one pull, right? And I would do that. I would do that with beers, dude. I remember there's a dive bar in East Nashville. Yes, this is water. This is water now. But there was a dive bar in East Nashville called the Cobra. And man, I would go in there and I'd be knocking back the beers. And man, I'd knock one back up. I'll take another one. And the guy, after a while, man, the guy stopped coming around. I knocked back about 4 or 5. And I wasn't even buzzed. My tolerance was so high at the time. Nikos, what's happening? My tolerance was so high, dude, that 5 or 6 beers was like nothing. But he literally, I was like indirectly cut off because he saw me like knocking him back so quick, that he just stopped serving beer. And I said, man, I was my girlfriend at the time, my now wife. I said, this dude's like, he's not serving me beer. Like, what's going on, dude? I was full beard, long hair, had been on the road drinking 20 beers a night. So this 4 or 5 beers, dude, was like nothing, So we just said, man, let's get out of here. We'll go to the next spot. So yeah, thank you, Ben. I'm glad to have all of you here. Phil, everybody here, man. Cheers. We're having a little sparkling water, waiting on the wife. Brad, you ever encountered Lemmy? Yes. There is a time, yes, Kemper Sabbath, Charles. Yeah, I've talked about Lemmy before on the channel. Man, I partied with him and a couple of girls one time at the Rainbow. They took pictures. There was a picture of me with this hat that said sex. and Lemmy and these two Swedish girls we were hanging out with. And man, I never pitched to guy. I should have said, "Hey, Lemmy, man, if you need a guitar player, you should call me." I should have done that, but dumb me, I'm focused on the Swedish girl, and he's talking to his Swedish girl, and it's like we just ended up the four of us like kind of hanging out one night. But right on, right on, right on. I've told the Lemmy story a bunch of times, and there's other times that I would see him and have interaction with him. But right on, Benjamin. What was Lemmy like? He's just a cool dude, man. A decade or so later, I went to the Rainbow, and I'm at the bar, and dude, at the Rainbow, anything goes. So this is before things were legalized, if you know what I mean. So I'm at the bar, and some guy goes, "Hey man, try this," and I take a pull on something, and all of a sudden I'm like, and Lemmy's sitting over there, and I start babbling. "Oh, Lemmy, yeah, man, I remember when you and Entwistle would talking about John Entwistle, when you and Entwistle would be inside at the bar," and he hears the name Entwistle, and he just looked at me, and goes, "Greatest bass player ever," and I was like. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to argue with Lemmy about who is. Yeah, he's playing his game at the end of the bar, and he wasn't even. I was kind of talking to him, but he wasn't paying any attention until I said the name Entwistle, and then he immediately looked over, and goes, "Greatest bass player ever." So super cool guy, man. I saw him so many times at the Rainbow, dude. It wasn't even anything like, it was like him, and there's the adult film actor that's now in jail. He was always there. Entwistle was always there. The first night I went to the Rainbow, Ingve was there. I saw David Lee Roth at the Rainbow. And I did the interview with Billy McCarthy from DeMalls, Billy Dior. And dude, after seeing his pictures in the book, I'm like, dude, I saw you in the Rainbow a ton of times. I just didn't, if you don't know somebody, you don't just start. Yes, exactly, doctor. He was there all the time. The hedgehog, yes. So, man, it's just, those were the times. Dr. Starr is here, and he knows because he was there. We were both there, at that time. And, the private bathroom in the kitchen. How many people know about that if you're at the Rainbow? They have this bathroom, and it used to be, if you just knew about it, you could just go in there and go in that bathroom, and you do whatever you needed to do, whether you was you were with somebody, or you were wanted to do something. That was the thing. You go in that thing. But the last time I went out there, they were like, it's like they shut that down. Drains were backed up, and there's like, oh my God, yeah. Dude, that place could be a little rough. But man, I had somebody in the comments say something about, it not being cleanly or whatever. But man, I always had good food there. I always had a good experience. Never got into any trouble. Never pissed off anybody in there. Uh, Miserable. That's just wrong. So somebody said, getting ready for Neil Young's birthday. Okay. Scott Grove without the F words. Who now? Scott Grove. Can you tell me about? Has he got a channel on YouTube? I don't know this guy. Do I know him? Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah. You should you should write a book about bathrooms. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's a Nashville guy. What is the name again? What was that? What was that name you said? Scott Grove. I don't think I know Scott Grove. I've got a whole Slash story. He was the first guitar guy on YouTube. Man, that's funny. I don't know, Scott. And I've been watching and being on YouTube for like 14 years. So, man, but yeah, I've got I redid an old story that I'd put on my channel before anybody watched my channel. I had a whole story about Slash and the rainbow and strippers and, all this stuff that went on one night. And, I ended up just recently reshooting it and putting it in my members section. So if anybody out there doesn't mind, becoming a member to my channel, if you go to the description, you go to the main page of my channel, you'll see under the welcome video, you'll see where this whole line of members. And you can join, become a member of the channel, and then you have access to all these videos before I put them out. Now, I don't know when I'm going to put out that Slash video. I don't know when I'm going to put out. I've got a story, all these different crazy stories, and a lot of them that I haven't even told yet. I haven't even put on the channel yet. Haven't shot the video for them yet. But these videos are all in the members section. So if you become a member of my channel, you can, then see these videos before they're ever released onto the main channel. And that's the same. Like this morning, I got up and edited two brand new videos and put them up. They're in the members section of my channel, and you'd have access to all that stuff. So that's one of the benefits of becoming a member. And at the highest level of membership, it includes like, I don't know, it's like a 15-minute Zoom or something like that. But, anyway, man, everybody, I'm just thankful to have you guys here. We're having fun. We're talking about the rainbow. We're talking about Lemmy. Without naming club names or notable members, ever encountered 1%er motorcycle clubs? Guitarist? Yes. I have had very close contact with, members, and I will not mention clubs or names or members or any of that. But yes, unequivocally, it's certain bands that you get in, and there was one touring act that I was in, and yes, those guys would always come. I have not. Tim Hardiman is here. I started the first couple of chapters. Pretty cool insight. Tim, Black 22 Productions is here. Tim, I have not read that book, and I've heard people say there's a lot of quotes from other books in it. I don't know, man. That's why I haven't pulled the plug on it. I'm very picky about what I spend my money on. I have to be, because this channel is in its infancy. So it's not like tons of money coming in. I'm on a tight budget. So hey, Phoenix, yeah, I get that. Everybody's saying it's pretty good. I think it's probably great, but I've heard there's a lot of quotes. People are saying, man, he quoted a lot of stuff from other books, and it says that he quoted it, but I don't know, man. There's even some book that people are claiming they pulled sections out of their book into his book. Now, I talked about this before, dude. Alex was out there. Oh, Charles, I'm so sorry to hear that. Are you okay? He is watching this from the ER. Dude, I hope you're all right, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just can't imagine being Alex Van Halen. Oh, your mom fell. Charles, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope she will be okay. Yes, Alex Van Halen in a neck brace. Well, dude, before the neck brace, we're talking about a guy in their prime when they were with David Lee Roth that would drink 8 to 10 to 12 tall cans of Schlitz malt liquor bull every night. So, and look, dude, I know how foggy my brain is from just 10 years ago. You're talking about Alex Van Halen talking about stuff 30 years ago, and he was out there, dude. Like, I was a Boy Scout compared to what Alex Van Halen was doing back in the day. So, I just don't know. I don't know. It might be hard to remember that stuff. How do you remember that stuff unless you took notes? I heard that is it Noel Monk that wrote the Van Halen book? He was the former tour manager. I heard that he had made extensive notes of everything that, dates and all this stuff, and he waited till he could legally put out the book. Then he put out the book, and he had extensive notes so that he could, he could write the book. And I think Rudy Sarzo did the same thing. I think Rudy Sarzo had a diary, and he would write down things, and then he had clips of all the clippings, the reviews from the shows, and that's how he wrote his book. So, man, yeah, he was miserable. That's a good one. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So we're having fun. We got 83 people here. It's a Wednesday night. It's a chill Wednesday, but I figured, man, why not come online, see what's happening, talk to you guys a little bit. I'll of course have a new video out tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. The Breakfast Dudes, the Breakfast Club, because it's not, sometimes we get some of our, nice female audience and we love having them, but it's mostly dudes for breakfast, and we have a new video out every morning at 8 a.m. Thank you, Benjamin. I'm glad to be here. Alicia Fair is here. Great to have you here. She calls me Captain Crunch. That's something. What's happened, Captain? Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was so much fun. Alicia and Michael Fair. Michael Fair is the guy that gave me my first gig in Nashville when I first moved there in 1994. And wouldn't you know it, on my last gig in Nashville, he's on the gig playing horn. It was surreal, dude. That was a surreal thing. It was brutally hot, that last gig. We were outside. We were just sweating profusely. I spent the first hour thinking I'm going to pass out. Yes. I eat Captain Crunch before every dentist appointment. Miserable is a comedian. We got a comedian in here. Okay, John, I get that. I get what you're saying, but let's let everybody just back away from that stuff. Let's keep. I'd hate to. Now, I had to remove a guy earlier for thinking that was Neil Young, and then when I told him it was Edward Van Halen, he said, "Who's that?" And I immediately hit. He basically is hidden from the channel. He's probably still lurking, and he's pissed. He's plotting revenge. But yeah, let's just have fun, man. Some people are happy, some people are sad. Some of us don't give a crap. Look, dude, we're musicians, man. We're gonna survive and thrive no matter what. Because you know what? Happiness is in the mind, bro. It's in the mind. And there's not any one person out there that knows your plight or knows what's going on. So, let's just have fun. Miserable's got all the jokes today. I'm gonna get Miserable to go on the X5 podcast. They've got a Rising Stars thing, and you can go do stand up for those guys. That he's got the jokes today, man. Hey, Scott from South Carolina, the wife is already putting up Christmas decorations. I have a feeling that's going to probably, in the next couple of weeks, that's probably going to start showing up here as well. David, Rhodes was way better than EVH. But why? I understand that's your opinion, brother. I understand that you like Randy Rhodes better than EVH. But why do you have to come in here and try to put somebody else down because you like Randy Rhodes? It's apples and oranges, bro. Two totally different players, and you could argue Randy got some of his trip, got some of it from Eddie. It's just not necessary, bro. It's not necessary. They're both great and they're both gone. Well, Randy did write. He had to have written stuff for those songs. He didn't write lyrics, but he had to have written those riffs. He had to have written that. Yeah, he wrote a few. We just don't need that. We are talking music. We are. Um, but I just don't think we need to take pot shots at the dead. And that's going to be the name of my new album, Pot Shots at the Dead. Bad Brad's new release. Man, frankly, I wish they were both still here and able to get together in a room and play. Wouldn't that be awesome, right? It's just like, dude, you could argue that Joe Pass is better than both of them, but they're different. It's all different. Alan Holdsworth is better than all of them. I mean, it's like, but it's each guy is different, Um, it's just I miss both of those guys, dude. I miss Alan Holdsworth. I miss Jeff Beck. I miss, all the Jimi Hendrix. I would not say that Eddie Van Halen is better than Jimi Hendrix, and I wouldn't say Jimi Hendrix is better than Eddie Van Halen. They're two different guys. They do different things. I miss Esteban. But here's the real miserable. You've got a million of them today. Somebody give that man a super chat. Maybe miserable needs to have look, is Esteban still alive? Look, if Esteban could just come and save the world with his amazing playing and his amazing fedora, whatever that hat is he wears, then I think we'd all be straight. Yeah, Ted Green, another genius, but not a household name. I mean, look, man, everybody is good at what they do. I just watched the Mike Stern episode on Rick Beato's channel. And that I learned some things today, man. He got deeper in the Rick Beato interview, even though it was only 51 minutes. Man, he got deep into explaining why Miles Davis fired him and how he was partying and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, Phil, exactly. Roy Buchanan, Rory Gallagher. Man, you know who I miss? And he's not a guitar player, but songwriter, performer, Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy. Amazing, man. I saw some footage of him that I hadn't seen. It seems like stuff is popping up now on the internet. These old midnight specials and stuff are popping up. And dude, Charles, I worked at Starlix for about, I think it was a week and a half. Tommy Bolin, that's another great. Wow, Dr. Starr, that would be an amazing. Yeah, I love, man, Phil Lynott he had that rock star image. He was just one of those guys. And I know it kind of had that Hendrix kind of vibe to it, but just, I miss all of those guys. Yeah, I miss Lou Gramm in his prime. I miss Frank Zappa. There's just so many great performers that I wish were still here. I wish we could still hear Eddie Van Halen. I wish I could have taken my daughter to see Van Halen. I wish I could have taken my daughter to see Jeff Beck. Lenny Bro, that's another one. Do I like Tim Henson, the guy from it's Polyphia, right? I like what he does, and I see great value in it, and I think he is furthering the musician thing. Do I listen to it? No, but I have listened to it. I appreciate it. I feel like different styles of guitar are kind of like different martial arts. And I feel like that style of playing that boop, boop, beep, boop, harmonic, beep, boop, 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 beep, that kind of thing works great as a look at me composition. But can that guy improvise a solo with that stuff that he does? It seemed like when they did a jam with Steve Vai, and it was the two guys from Polyphia and Steve Vai, it seemed like they didn't really know how to just play a solo in E. And I would have liked to see that style that they've created be able to be something that you could improvise in. That would be cool. But I guarantee you, because they've invented that unique style of playing, there's going to be some young kids coming up in the next 5 to 10 years that are going to be able to improvise like that. Now that will be really something. Right on. So, man, we're having a good time. We got 86 people in here. Let's get the thumbs up. We're talking music. We're having fun. If you don't know who Eddie Van Halen is, you get kicked from the room. It's just the best of times. Now see, if this was a beer, dude, I'd be like, bring me another, man. Bring me another. Jesus Lizard. I'm not familiar with them. Somebody's drinking Buffalo Trace. All right, I can't fault you on that. I was a whiskey guy. I do like whiskey, but I just don't drink anymore. I just don't have time to be hungover. I got to get up at 5 in the morning tomorrow and shoot content. I've got to keep this channel rocking and rolling, baby. If you don't know who Eddie is, what in God's name are you watching this channel? I don't know, man. I don't normally come on at this time. Invite you to play a couple songs. Would you be interested? Okay. Rockin' Dave Byron. Possibly, Dave. Possibly. What kind of stuff? Are you a solo act? What kind of stuff do you do? I just, man, I've done a lot of live playing in my life. And I feel like now is the time that I can pass on my knowledge, my experience. Oh, you play solo fusion. Wow. Maybe I'll just come watch. Maybe I won't want to sit in. If you're really good, I might be like, no, you sound great, bro. I'm out. Miserable is on top of the jokes here today, man. He is on top of it. But man, I've got some buddies here in this area, and I need to reach out to them, and maybe I'll end up playing some gigs. But I know a guy that works all the time in the Orlando area, and he's got a popular band that's always playing the Villages and all that. But man, I don't want to be gone from the house that much. I've got, my daughter here and my wife, and I'm just kind of enjoying not having to feel that dread of being in the car and driving to a gig and wondering if I've got all my gear in the back and if I've learned all the songs for tonight. And, is it going to be late when I'm driving home and all that stuff, man? I gotta make bucks. I gotta make bucks. You know what I'm saying? Playing the Villages, would that be cool? Well, John, I think that is a place, and I've played it before back when I used to play. Yeah, I've been to the Crates Backstage Pass. I've been there. Thank you, Rockin' Dave. That's kind of what I'm trying to be now. I spent my 20s, 30s, 40s, and my 50s doing the guitar thing. And it's like, man, you know what? Maybe I'll just, do this YouTube thing and see where this leads. And I think it'll eventually will lead to playing more. But does somebody ask, do I still have that beautiful green drop top Anderson? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Do you like Tom Anderson? Yes, I do. That's one of my daughters. So it's always playing in one of the, do you like onions? Yes, I do. Do you like Tom Anderson? Now, this is a short drop top. This is it has a shorter scale length, like a Les Paul scale length. So it makes it a little bit smaller if you're on a tiny stage. This is a good guitar to have on the gig. It just seems like that little quarter of an inch or whatever it is. Yeah, this is a cool guitar, man. It is a very cool guitar. Yeah, I still got it. Dude, guitars I don't have a shortage of. I'm down to 2 amps, except for my quilters. I have those. And if I were to play live, I might use those. Did the guy from Virginia who played with Chicago play one like that? He does have a Tom Anderson and green. He likes green guitars. I just bought green guitars because I don't go for the sunburst and stuff like that. So I've got a couple Andersons that check out this one. This is like a key lime burst or something like that. This is a really cool guitar. It's different because it's got the 2 humbuckers, and this is a really cool guitar. Very easy to play, very low action. But I just now hear the wife coming home, so I'm gonna sign out today, everybody. Actually, Mia, come on in. Come on in. What'd you get? You want to say hi to everybody?
And I'm going to show them this.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Look what you got. You got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles on the half shell.
They say they like them.
Can you tell
Look at all that.
Who's in there?
I will show them.
Okay, tell them.
And so, what's this guy?
I don't know. What is that guy? Well, they can't see it if you turn it that way.
But I'm not going to remember their name.
Okay, well, you can't block the camera.
Was Casey who? What's the Casey's name?
Casey Jones.
Oh, you got Casey Jones in there. He's the hockey guy.
And April.
See that? And you got Ace. They're all home. So I'm gonna see you guys. Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a great night. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning for the Breakfast Club. Bye, guys.